Hey friends, Wayne over there at the Ram Man Inc. Hey, we had us a little anomaly come up with one of our clients. They're putting the rear disc brakes on C-body. That factory C-body setup, 69, 72, 73, will fit on all the C-bodies, 65 and up. Same ball joints, they just bolt right up. But this gentleman right here, he is expressing some concern because the caliper won't slide all the way over to line up with his pin. And so we can see right here that some people have some trouble, but we can determine from this picture right here. Well, nobody reproduced any C-body or Imperial pin caliper brackets. These are designed for the 1.25" rotor, and of course this is a factory caliper. It says Kelsey Hayes on it right there. Kelsey Hayes made all the pin calipers, and several people made actually outside casting companies did some of the brackets. So we're going to use this right here as our little class. So starting in 1970, Mahl Chrysler went to the pin caliper setup developed with Kelsey Hayes. It's real badass. These are the smaller ones for the B&E bodies with the 11-inch rotor. Remember, they were all running 11-inch rotor, and they have their particular pattern right here, or bolt distance for the spindle. Then in 1976, Mahl Chrysler brought the 1175 rotor out for the other cars, for the smaller cars, the big 4-doors and stuff. And so these are what is called the big caliper brackets. All they did was move that pin out 3/8 of an inch, the radius, so you could run that bigger rotor. So that's all, just a copy right there. Now all of these are extinct. This is the new pin caliper brackets that I decided to make about 5 years ago so people could run the big rotor pin caliper system. I actually cast these Xenia Foundry. Of course, the pin caliper setup is the finest setup ever developed, and that's why it's used today. When we move on to the C-bodies and the Imperials right here, I've noticed over the years that there's actually 3 different variations. Different vendors, like a lot of things, people couldn't keep up. Master cylinders were cast by 3 or 4 different people. But I want to show you 2 versions. Got these little lips on here, stops right here. So what we've got is we've got these original big pin caliper brackets. And you can always tell that these are for the C-bodies or the big O Imperials because the bolt pattern's different. It's wider. Slightly wider. Here's our version. So if you look at this right here, it's got these stops. And this version right here does not have the stops. No. So, no, we ain't making any of this, and we've already determined that this is factory stuff. That's why we advertise it as factory stuff. And it is what it is. So, let's get our parts back together. So, here we go, our large pin caliper bracket, right? Here it is. There's typically more than enough room to go over. There's typically more than enough room to go over. Style number 1. Style number 2. There's more than enough room. And once again, there's more than enough room. So, in all my expertise, here's what I've determined. We've determined a freak situation where we had a little bit of flaw in the casting. Remember now, Castings are not all the same. They are not machine parts, and oftentimes they vary by 20, 30, 40, 50 thousandths. And then when you put two things together, maybe that compounds or exacerbates the situation. But gentleman sent me a really good picture, and I can tell from my samples right here that this distance between the lip and the edge is a little bit thicker than my unit. I hate working with these little kids. It's just a little bit thicker. I don't know. By maybe 50 thousandths. Coupled with the calipers that have the stops. And you got just a teeny, maybe this one's a little bit bigger. Do you see that these are castings, rounded, not machined out? Now, so how do we fix that? Well, on the job training back in the day, or if I was today, I would take me a file. I would take a file and I would remove a little bit of that with a hand file. And I would remove a little bit of that with a hand file and bolted it on up and went on about my business. But there are other alternatives. We can send the bracket back, and we can send another bracket, or another caliper, or we got about 3 or 4 things to do. All of them eat up time, take a little bit of time, and of course, it's no fault of anybody's. It's just one of those things, an anomaly. So, the choice is yours. Let me see something real quick. Like I said in the beginning, we've never actually seen this before. I've never seen it before. Now mind you now, these are cast iron. Whoops, gotta make sure I get my... These are cast iron, and they're soft. It don't take no time. Put that thing in a vise. It don't take no time. And God forbid, put one of them air files on there and be about 90 seconds. God bless you. God bless America. And I hope this helps out. Don't forget, 1175 pin caliper brackets. That is the maximum that you can do on a Mopar. Why are pin calipers so fucking awesome? I'll tell you why. Because these calipers move back and forth on these 4 huge machine ways. That's why these are so hard to machine. Look at all that nonsense I got to machine. The slide. Trying to give you a picture of it. They slide on those 4 machine ways so they can't move. And on top of that, they have the pins to keep them centered and moving back and forth real smooth. That's why pin calipers, compared to others, almost never ever lock up, no matter even when they get trashed out in debris and mud. All right, my friends, God bless you, God bless America, and happy Moparing.